Nerds in the club and you know how we do. Handful of cash and a couple of brews. So many women, so little time. Gotta find a key to make her mine, oh mine. Nerds in the club, yeah we do.
Woo! Welcome to this week's exciting edition of Chachi Says the Vidcast. Or, like Sorg likes to call it, Chachi Says with his mouth. Now, if you're looking at the background, you'll notice we're not in my man cave. We're in some magical place that I like to call headquarters. This is the home of Sorgatron Media, the father company of the show, of my show, and many other shows. So, let's get with it. This just goes to show that I'll move around. You won't get the same scenery every week. Sometimes I'll throw a curveball, and poof, somewhere else. So, this is this week's edition. It is the 21st of November, and this is Fan Request 3. As always, the topics come from you, the viewers. This week's we have one from @Fuzzwad and @MadMike4883, who is a huge fan of everything Sorgatron Media. He's one of the call-ins from the Wrestling Mayhem show, so he's a friend. I'm going to start with Fuzzwad. Fuzzwad wanted my opinion on Lamborghini deciding to discontinue their first car, not their first car, just one of their cars, the Murcielago. And I'm probably butchering that name, but that's because I can barely speak English. So you can't give me an Italian word and expect me to just right off the cusp. So apparently this car was only around for 9 years. And you can't see it, but the Wikipedia page is right there. Therefore, you're getting the information from the same place I could get the information. Its predecessor was the Diablo, which is my favorite car name. It was built for 9 years in Italy. It was a 2-door car, high-end, 6-speed manual, they're semi-automatic. And they only ever built 4,099 of these cars. So that kind of makes them rare. Which means, from my standpoint, them deciding to stop making the car is a pretty smart move. Because, I mean, if they only made 4,099 of these cars, then these cars are going to be talked about years later. When people are looking for them, it'll be kind of like people looking for the DeLorean. So, yeah. Nice move, Lamborghini. Thumbs up from Chachi Says. Alright, moving on to the next topic, and my favorite for this week. Mad Mike dwells in New York. He lives in the Bronx. Stayed there a couple times. Spilt soda on his curtains. You know, we're close. He wants to know my thoughts on how Shredder was able to drive around in that big-ass dome under New York City without hitting a single subway tunnel. Ever. And I thought about this in from several different perspectives. One was scientific. And that one, I thought maybe there was some way where, even though he had this big-ass dome that was far more advanced than anything else in the show, that somehow when he was driving it around, it was able to detect obstacles nearby and adjust its size accordingly, without the riders being affected. So, if you're not following me, they would be driving around trying to catch the turtles. They would come close to a subway tunnel, and it would shrink. and everything inside would still be proportioned until it got past the subway tunnel, and then it would grow back to its normal size. And then I realized it's a cartoon! You don't need explanations for these things. They just happen. And then there's another thing I thought of. While he may have taken the dome above ground into New York, most of the time they didn't. They had those little drill cars that they would take to the surface from the dome, therefore making it a lot easier to bypass all these obstacles and not destroy the entire city, which they wouldn't have cared about anyhow, because they were trying to take over the world. So, I mean, pick how you want to look at it. That's all there is to it. I mean, just decide your personal opinion, and you know what? Let me know. I need to hear your opinions. You can... My producer, Sorg, who is behind that camera right there, told me that I need to ask for you to send me video voicemails, letting me know what topics you want me to talk about, your opinions of the show, and apparently it's as easy as having a webcam and hitting record on YouTube. I don't know that for sure, because I've never tried it, but give it a shot. I want to know what you think. Send me the link. Maybe you'll make it on the show. You never know. But I would love to hear more of your fan requests, so you can email me at csvidcast@gmail.com. You can leave comments on all of our pages, chachisays.net, youtube.com/Chachi, Mr. Chachi Says. You can go to the Blip TV page, chachisays.blip.tv, and you can subscribe to us on iTunes. Now, at first I wasn't a big fan of that, but as you can tell by the equipment that is surrounding me in the studio today, my opinions have changed. We'll talk about that next week. That's next week's episode. But, once again, I want to thank Sorg for throwing this all together for your viewing pleasure. And Sorgatron Media, check out his shows, Awesome Cast, Wrestling Mayhem Show, and the Music Fun Time Show. Along with everything else the dude does, he wears many hats. So, thank you for tuning in this week. This is Chachi Says. We'll see you next week.
Nerds in the club and you know how we do. Handful of cash and a couple of brews. So many women, so little time. Gotta find a key to make her mine, oh mine. Nerds in the club, yeah we do it all the time. Watch the girls dancing, looking just fine. Your music's playing loud and you ain't gonna stop it. Oh shit, shorty just dropped it. Took a break from the games, and my man player 2 did the same. Drinking and dancing, we're gonna do it right. Looking for the next player, take home for the night. Not looking to pay, cause
Oh, wait. I forgot to plug in the power cord. This is something that we don't have at my normal location. Anyhow,